Hola, buenas tardes. Hello, everyone. I'm going to do my talk in English, but I'm sure everybody will follow. So yes, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship in Spain, and it's probably going to come here sometime. And I'm going to ask a question, which is whether this is impossible mission or we have a chance to survive in the future. So let's start by defining entrepreneurship. So what is this entrepreneurship thing? There are many definitions, and I would like to share with you how it started and how it evolved, because as our first presenter was saying, entrepreneurship is not only starting businesses, which is, but there are more things to entrepreneurship than purely starting business. So let's have a look at some of these definitions. The first one is pretty old, almost 40 years old. Is identifying opportunities, so it's talking about opportunities, but it's also taking some actions to profit for them. So we have opportunities and profits. Let's see how this definition evolved. Some years later, Drucker, that was just mentioned by Professor Chesbrook, talks about extracting profits from this new, unique, and valuable combination of resources. So now we have resources in the definition. And then we have uncertainty and ambiguous environment, so the risk is here. So now we have opportunity, profits, we have risk, and we have resources. Next, 2000. Now we are approaching 2000. It was the time of the internet. Here we have now the process of discovery, evaluation, and exploitation of opportunities. This is more like what we teach in classes when we are in entrepreneurship courses, so how we identify an opportunity and how we exploit this opportunity. But we cannot stop only with opportunities and business. So in 2003, there was a broader definition that now is talking about a way of doing things. So anybody could be an entrepreneur. It's just a way of approaching your problems. And the last definition, I really like this one. That's the reason why I'm putting in and stopping here, is talking about taking responsibility for one's actions, positive or negative, to finish what we start, to know where we are going, to set objectives and meet them, and have the motivation to succeed. So entrepreneurship is great if we can be entrepreneurs, because we fit some targets, and then we will do it, and we will be successful. So for anything we start in our life is something that we should look at. So entrepreneurship seems to be something important. But why are entrepreneurs so important for society? If we were in a class, I will probably now start asking people, I will say, okay, why do you think entrepreneurs are so important? I'm sure we will have a whole list of reasons. And there are many reasons I like. For example, I like entrepreneurs because they change the way we do things. They innovate, they are creative people, so they bring new products and services to the market. But I'm going to focus on some economic reasons, because we are in a business school, and probably this is more interesting. So I'm going to take the example of why it is important for Spain, the country where we are now. So I'm going to pick only 3 reasons. The first reason everybody knows is unemployment. We have a huge unemployment rate, and especially for young people, it's over 40%. So we have an issue with employment. So we need to create more jobs, or we have to create our own jobs. Second reason is that the size of the Spanish companies is actually very, very small. There are around 3.4, probably less, because we are in the middle of a crisis, companies in Spain. And out of these 3.4, more than 53% don't have any employees. No employees at all. 53% of the Spanish companies are just unemployment. So the person starting the business, and that's it. This is his own employment or her own employment. 43% have between 1 and 9 employees. Very small. And only 5% of all the Spanish companies have more than 10 employees. So this is the second reason why entrepreneurship is important. Now, third reason is the creation of new companies. In Spain, in every country, new companies are created every day. At the same time, some companies are closing down. This is something normal. New companies are born, some companies die. In Spain, the average year, around 80,000 companies are the net effect of this creation and destruction. So in every new year, we will have 80,000 new companies, net. Now, this was something that was happening every year, but in 2009, this trend was reversed. And now there is a net destruction of companies. So now we have less companies every year. 2009, less 60,000 companies. So these are the three reasons: unemployment, small size of the companies, and also the rate of destruction of the companies. So given that entrepreneurship is so important, let's look at Spain. Let's keep on talking about Spain and see how do we rate. So how do we look like in terms of some data? First, you have here the number of the percentage of entrepreneurs. And you see that, well, it changed, but the average is 6.1. So this is people that are starting a company in the first 4 years, data from the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. And you see that this was increasing 2005, 2006, 2007. But now with the economic crisis, it's going down, and it's over, now it's below the average, it's 5.1. The good news, so the numbers doesn't look so good, but the good news is that most of the entrepreneurs are young people. If we look at the number of entrepreneurs or the percentage, if we get 18 to 24 and 25 to 34, that will add 50%. So at least the young people entrepreneurs are creating new businesses. This is important. Now, those numbers there don't mean many things for anyone if we don't have an international comparison, because, I mean, 5, 6 is a lot, it's not a lot. So let's have a look. What do we get here? We have some countries, some European countries, and also we got the US there. And you can see that in terms of percentage of entrepreneurs, we are not so bad. But if we look at the other chart, we have here how many of the entrepreneurs start because they identify an opportunity. Remember, it was part of the definition. And we see that here we are the lowest. So our entrepreneurs do not start so much because they identify an opportunity, but they do it because of need, which is not that I'm complaining that this is negative, but probably we are missing some opportunities. So more information regarding how do we look like. In Spain, a lot of people, every year more people prefer to be employed. These are not good news, again. You can see now it's more than 50% in 2009 that want to be employed. And how does it compare? Well, if you look at the chart, Spain is the last one. This is people that would like to be self-employed. So in Spain, 4 out of 10 would like to be self-employed, which doesn't sound bad, but is the lowest of all these countries. Why people like to be employed or unemployed? And here we have data from entrepreneurs on one side and young people on the other side. And you can see that, well, young people, they claim that they like to be employed because of stability, because of fixed income, and then fixed schedule. Social security, they care less. But if we look at why to be self-employed, this is very interesting. The second part. So entrepreneurs, they highly rate independence. They want to be independent among any other thing, because then better income, you see, is only 14%, and free schedule, so you can work whenever you want, is 36%. If you look at the young people, they are more interested on this. So Spain doesn't look so good. But we still think that we need to have entrepreneurs. So how do we identify entrepreneurs? Let's have a look at the characteristics of entrepreneurs. What is an entrepreneur? And this could be then the question that we will see if we can teach more entrepreneurs. So academic research during the last years, well, many years of academic research actually identified 5 characteristics. And these are the 5 characteristics. So now you can think about yourself if you have these 5 characteristics. The first one is the need of achievement. Entrepreneurs need to feel that they are doing something, that they are reaching to something, to some goal, to some target they fix. Independence, I already mentioned. They want to be independent. They don't want to have a boss. Internal control, this I will explain later. What does it mean? In case you don't know it. Risk takers is clear. They like to start new adventures, and they like to take risks. And finally, self-confidence. They believe they can do it. Yes, we can. So this is the self-confidence. There are other factors that have been related to entrepreneurs. These are 2 of the most common factors: creativity and high tolerance for failure. That means that they are not scared to fail. If they fail, nothing happens, they learn, and they will start again. So now, how do we rate, Spain, on those characteristics? So let's have a look at some data. Internal control. So what does it mean, internal control? We have here the definition or the question that was posed. My life is determined by my own actions and not for the actions of other people or external factors. So when I wake up in the morning, I know what I'm going to do, and I know that the results are because I'm doing this. It's not that I'm waiting there and it's like complaining, I'm not going to do anything today because everything anyway is already, some external force is going to determine my life. So when we look at that, Spanish people don't seem to be on agreement. So only 2, actually less than 2 out of 10 people agree with this definition. So I wonder what the other 8 people are thinking. Well, I don't wonder, I know. And if we compare with the American people, with the US, you see that it's 7 out of 10. So I don't know if it's a historical reason, if it's a cultural reason, but here we clearly have a problem. So this is the first characteristic. Here we have a couple more. Attitude toward risk. So the question posed was, in general, I take risk. And this is the percentage that totally agree. You can see where is Spain compared to the other, European and the US. So only 12% of the people will say, yes, I totally agree, in general, I take risk. So low risk takers. And the third characteristic is failure. So how do we tolerate risk? And here we win, because we are the ones with the highest low tolerance for failure, so we do not tolerate risk at all. You can see almost 5 people out of 10 will not tolerate risk. So winning here is probably losing. If we ask young people, the other information is a European and US survey to the whole population, so not only young people, but here when we ask to young people, and only 3 out of 10 have tolerance for risk, so very low, better than the average in Spain, but still low, and only 2.5 out of 10 are optimistic about their future, so this internal control. They probably believe that something bad is going to happen. I guess that the economic crisis is affecting the results of this survey, but anyway, the data doesn't seem to be. Creativity here now. We will talk about creativity later today. I consider myself a creative person with new ideas. Only 15% agree, totally agree. Well, you see how we compare. Let's see some more data. Now we go to the image of the entrepreneur. After myself, we have an entrepreneur, Pau, that will be talking. So what is your image in the country? Well, you don't rate the worst, because in the UK, it seems that it's even worse than in Spain. But you can see that the image of an entrepreneur is not the best. I have even more information that I'm not showing today, but regarding how the media treat entrepreneurs and what percentage of time media talk about entrepreneurs. And in Spain, it's very low. So this is also something that we could improve in the future. And now, when we ask, so we ask the young people, how do they think that society values these different jobs? They like a lot liberal professions, so architects or lawyers and so on. They think also scientists are very cool people. And then, 3.8, so 38% entrepreneur. Of course, the ones with the worst reputation in Spain are the public workers, although when you ask the question to the same young people, what would you like to be in the future? They want to be public workers. So I don't really understand very well how does it work. Anyway, let me summarize for you some of this data, because we saw a lot of data. And here we have Spain and USA. Let's focus on just the 2 countries. Risk takers, so 39% totally agree in the US versus 12%, so 3 times less in the case of Spain. Creativity, you see the numbers, and internal control, very sad. I think this one is really sad, but anyway. So now, let's have a look around. How are we doing here today? How many entrepreneurs do we have? I know there is Pau here, I see some hands over there. Okay, more hands. Well, you know what I did? I sent a survey last Thursday to the students that are sitting here. So here there are some students and some other people that were students some time ago. So I sent a survey to ask these questions to the students here. And I don't see any professor from statistics in the audience, but well, probably you know Vicenta and Rosa, they probably tell you how difficult it is to get a good response rate in a survey. If you send a survey, if you get 10% of the people or 15% of the people to respond you, you're probably very happy. Well, I'm very happy. After 1 hour, after I send the survey, 23% already replied. And after 2 days, I got a 67% response rate, which is great for a survey. So now I'm going to show you how the people that are sitting here rate. So if we take the 5 characteristics, independence, okay, 42%, this is totally agree. So if I add agree, because there was totally agree, disagree, and absolutely disagree. So most of the people will be between totally agree and agree, but I really think that somebody that is taking risks is, I totally agree. It's not like, yes, okay, sometimes. So either you are totally agree or you are not a risk taker. So we see the numbers here. They look good, but let's have a look at the previous data I showed you, because otherwise we don't have a reference. So now we have here the ESADE students sitting in this room, and then we have here the US, and we have Spain. So it looks good. I have to say it looks very, very promising. So congratulations, because you can see that the percentage I'm showing there, the 80%, that's how close we are to reach the American standard, assuming this is the benchmark, okay? So risk takers, you are 80% on your way, so very good. 1 year out of ESADE, and you will be 100% for sure. Creativity, I think Enrique Segarra and some other professors need to work harder on this, I think, but you are almost there, okay, 2/3. And then internal control, guys, I don't know what happens, but this is low, okay, still low, 51% to the standard that will be the US. You are here in a top business school, you should be very sure that the things that are going to happen in your life is because of you. Concluding, we are doing many things in ESADE now because we really believe that education can play a role in changing the way Spain and entrepreneurship are related. We are working within ESADE, but also outside the boundaries of ESADE in different projects. Some of them with children, some of them with technological people, like people from Polytechnical or engineering school, people from technological centers. And I could explain you this, but I need hours to do that, and I don't think I have more time now. So answering the first question, let's go back. Is it impossible? No, we really think it's a very possible mission.